Yeah, it's just a sinking feeling in my stomach and I feel quite sick because I don't know how I'm going to pay all my debts, all my bills and all my debts. I kind of worry about it, and then eventually when I know that like another letter's going to come that's a red letter, then I open them. I know that it's going to be stressful and I'm going to be thinking about where the money comes from, but I felt really shit that I couldn't pay for the heating.
Fuel poverty is an ever-escalating crisis. Over 1 in 4 UK households face an impossible choice between heating and eating during the winter. Those hit hardest are those living the most precarious lives, such as pensioners, disabled people, people with illnesses, students, single mothers, and so many others on low incomes. In one of the wealthiest countries in the world, millions cannot afford to heat their homes to a safe level of warmth. This is a national scandal. The profits of the big six energy companies have soared to record highs. British Gas reported a 24% jump in profits to a record £742 million last year, whilst its parent company Centrica broke through the £2 billion mark, jumping 29% to £2.3 billion, also a record. Our energy system and economy function to generate private profit at all costs, including our basic rights to warm homes and a safe environment. Fuel poverty actions say things have to change.
So Fuel Poverty Action were a grassroots campaign group made up of people who are basically fed up with rip-off energy bills. We set out to tackle the root causes of fuel poverty, which we see as the government's cuts, as poor quality, badly insulated housing, as the control and the profiteering of the big six energy companies. We want to do away with all that, and we want the alternative, which is cheaper, cleaner, renewable energy under the control of communities, not controlled by giant energy companies. We're about protest and we're about direct action because we don't really think we've got any other choice. The situation is really grave. Millions of people in the UK facing impossible choices, like the choice between heating and eating. So we've occupied the offices of big six energy companies. We've protested outside government departments. We've blocked roads, and we'll continue to do that until we get what we want.
So, all of this is down to people having to make a choice. The choice being whether to feed your family or freeze them.
For the government, the coalition and the government to say you all in this together and stuff like that, it's quite a stink. Yeah? So I'm sort of saying about they don't sort of pretend to. They shouldn't be pretending that anything is hunky-dory.
We are here to highlight the number of older people who've died of fuel winter-related illnesses. We feel that the pensioners are being mistreated in the way in which energy prices are going up, food prices are going up, and many of them are suffering not only from winter-related illnesses, they are unable to pay their fuel bills, and some of them cannot even afford to eat properly. So our campaign is to ensure that every older person is warm and able to live independently in their houses.
So, if that's the choice, then why is living in a cold house so bad?
As depressed, it aggravates it. Definitely, when you've got an impairment, cold aggravates it. If you've got a physical impairment, it aggravates it. If it's mental health, then obviously it's quite miserable being cold all the time. Quite often we don't have the heating on at all, unless it's like really extreme situation, or we all agree that we're just so cold we can't put up with it anymore, but usually we don't have the heating on at all, which makes things a lot more difficult. My partner is disabled and he's managed to find work, and he often has to work late without getting any extra pay, and he's exhausted all the time, and then having to come back and be freezing all night as well kind of really adds to the pressures on him. And I know that he's in danger of having another relapse with his health condition because he's so stressed. Even though when just the small amount of fuel that we do use is still too expensive for us, but most of the time we just have to go without heating at the moment. I think it's not about talking to them. I think we have to fight back and we have to show that we're not going to put up with it.
Let me ask you this. What would you do if you had to choose between freezing or eating? Or how would you feel if you became just another statistic, forgotten, awash amongst so many others? Did you think that this was even a question to be asked in Britain today? And the way things are going, those questions are not going to disappear anytime soon. In fact, they're going to be asked from more and more people. Join us and our fight to end fuel poverty in the UK, because it won't be long until you have to.